you actually saw there is that belt, that wide belt travels the whole length of the dryer. We can control the speed of that belt as well. And we can control the speed of the conveyor, which loads it into the dryer. And that end of the dryer, you saw those agitators. One is turning horizontally and one is turning vertically. What that does is allow the product to roll over so that more air can pass through the product to drive off the moisture. At this end here, there's a large fan which blows air underneath that belt, and it comes up at that end, and it comes up through, and that's what drives the moisture. And all that moist, hot air is exhaust outside. Because it's heavily laden in moisture, so we don't want it to come back necessarily.
But I think there is some of the powder or of the product itself with this air.
Oh yeah.
Do you put like a filter or?
No. What you're seeing there now is because that belt is not full. It just started this morning, so right now there's only about 6 or 8 feet of that belt that's got any product on it. So a lot of that air is escaping. Once that belt gets completely covered in product, you get a lot less air escaping. And therefore those particles that you saw jumping up and down, that won't happen anymore. Because now the air is staying inside because the product is covering it. So initially in the mornings, you're not very efficient because you're using a lot of energy to heat, but the belt is not covered, so therefore you lose a lot. But when that belt gets covered right up, it's lose a lot of water. That's what you're seeing here now.
If I go outside the factory and see the exhaust or the chimney, can I found around it?
Oh yes, you'll find small particles, again, because, again, depending on the product, some of that product is small and some of it's very light. And it will just automatically be carried out with the air because you are exhausting a fair volume of air. It'll just be entrained in the air. That's just the way it is.
I think according to the Canadian style of life, you suppose there is pollution or?
I suppose you could classify that as pollution, but it's organic material. It's not something you're going to ingest anyway. And it's good for the lawn out there. The lawn is nice and green.
Yes, right.
That's good.
But
That's kind of how the dryer works.
What is the engine capacity, like horsepower?
The motor that's driving the fan is a 25 horsepower motor.
What about the other 3 small engines?
They're very small motors. They're only fractional horsepower. It doesn't take much energy to turn that web. To run the belt itself, I don't know what that one is. I'm going to say it's probably maybe 3 horsepower, maybe 5 horsepower.
And that's the biggest engine in the machine, in the whole drive.
The whole belt. It doesn't take very much because it's gear. So it doesn't take much power to run it because of all the gearing that's in there. But there is energy consumption. I don't know what the energy consumption is.
Yeah.
For kilowatts, I have no idea.
That's a lot of energy.
it is not a lot.
I don't think so.
It's not a lot, yeah.
Again, the 25 horsepower motor, once you get that fan turning, it doesn't take very much energy to keep it going. That's 3-phase. No, that one is single phase. But if it was 3-phase, you would be much more efficient. We only have single phase here in the building. We had to convert that to single phase. If you had 3-phase, it would be much more efficient. But the new dryers, like if you were to get a new dryer today, it would be a little bit different than this dryer. This is an older, originally designed as a grain dryer. And we have had to do a lot of modifications to convert it to what we want. But if you were to get a new dryer today, it would be definitely a little different than this one.
And of course, the grain dryer will need more energy than the vegetables. because it's a little bit hot, solid.
Depends upon the moisture content of the grain, and you're not trying. We try to get the moisture down here to less than 10%. I don't think you do that in a grain dryer. I don't know what the